When I tell you I'm about to lose my mind, I'm about to lose my mind. Today is Wednesday, the Wednesday before I do a soft launch for my Shopify reopening on Friday, and not anywhere close to being done. I have so much to do, I'm just going to work on it while I talk to you guys for a little bit. So I've been getting ready for the Shopify relaunch, as I said, and posted about this recently on my community tab, but that's probably been like a week ago now that I'm posting this. But everything that could go wrong the past 2.5 days now has gone wrong, and this close. The first thing I did was import my listings from Etsy to Shopify, so that way I would just have them there, because it was kind of awkward trying to do the layout and everything without any products in there to see what it would look like. So I went ahead and did that first thing. So with Shopify, you can import your Etsy products and just with a CSV file. So you can go to Etsy, there's somewhere in the settings where you can download a list of your products. You can even download like your orders and everything if you want. I just did my products for now. But the import wasn't perfect. I would almost say that it was like not great. It did save me a lot of time, but it could have saved me more time if it would have imported correctly. So I currently have over 200 listings, I think maybe like 220 some on Etsy, and not all of them are going to be moved over to Shopify, and I did condense some of my Etsy listings into like one on Shopify, because like on Etsy it's better to have more, but on Shopify it doesn't really matter if you have different variations. It doesn't matter that much if you have them in the same one. Like if you have different colors of things, you can put them together. And then some things I just was clearancing and didn't want to move over to the Shopify anyway, so I just deleted those. But it did not copy over any SKU numbers, and it messed up basically everything that had a variation was messed up. It did not import the prices, or something else with the variations was messed up. Like if I had one thing, like say I had these cotton rounds in my shop and I had a variation where like one variation was just the cotton rounds and another variation was the cotton rounds with a mesh bag to wash them in. So it imported them both as the same price, even though they were set to different prices on Etsy. And it didn't take over all of my photos either. Like some came up like as missing photos. Like I don't know how it just didn't copy some of them. But overall, much faster than me manually redoing all of the listings, because some of my products on Etsy have been there so long. I've changed computers, so I don't have like the original photos or anything anymore. So I would have had to download them or like screenshot them from Etsy to bring over, and that would have been chaos. What I'm doing right now is making product to take some updated photos with, and also to do banners and collection photos. So, you know, on Etsy you have the sections for like different kinds of products. On Shopify you have like collections, and you can make those collections have like a photo to represent what's in that collection. So I'm trying to make some group photos of things, because I didn't really have anywhere to put that on Etsy. So aside from that, I haven't had much trouble with Shopify itself. It's been fine. However, I got set back about 7 or 8 hours yesterday. My strategy for the launch has been to advertise my email list as a way to get early access. So I'm going to give my email subscribers the password to get into the site, like as an exclusive kind of thing, the first day. And I've been trying to get people to sign up for my email list so they can do that. And I like didn't have many people signed up. Like I'm just going to be totally honest, I only had like 32 or 33 email subscribers, and I was like nobody's signing up for it. Like, what? That's weird. So I made a video here a while back about how to use email marketing for Etsy, and I explored a few different options, and mainly talked about MailChimp, Aweber, and ConvertKit. So I originally used MailChimp for my email list for my Etsy shop, but after I did research for that video, and I learned that Aweber will integrate with Etsy and like automatically ask your customers if they want to be added to your email list. So I was like, well, that's a better solution, I think. So I'll go ahead and go with that. And I switched from MailChimp to Aweber. I've always had a bit.ly, like a custom short URL to get to my landing page for people to sign up. That way it's easy to type in and they don't have to copy and paste the link. They can just do bit.ly/ then my short URL. And when I switched providers from MailChimp to Aweber, I needed to change that link because, you know, it was a different landing page for a different service. And I had to pay like a subscription for Bitly because Bitly is free for so many links, but you can't redirect unless you pay for like the premium subscription. So I paid for like a month of the premium subscription or whatever to redirect that link to my new landing page. So then I didn't have to like replace the Bitly link everywhere. It would just go automatically to the new one. It'd be fine and nobody would notice. Then I also had the mailing list linked in my link tree. So I had a link tree linked in my social media profiles and my Instagram and TikTok and all that, just so people could get to my shop and then also to the mailing list, to my other social media and everything from one place. I'm going to like get rid of that and then change that to like a certain page on my Shopify once that's set up and everything. It's not a priority right now. So where this goes wrong, I posted on my Instagram stories, you know, you can, everybody now, even if you don't have 10,000 followers on Instagram, you can post a link to something, and I posted a link to sign up to my mailing list. I was going to post it every day just to like catch everybody. Like if you don't watch stories every day, I was going to like post it every like, hey, sign up for my mailing list, you get early access, blah, blah, blah. And like, just a side note, but God bless those followers that like keep up with everything you do. Because like this one person, oh, I have like a few people like this, but this one person will like comment on everything and like all my stories and everything. I absolutely love her. She's amazing. And then yesterday she messaged, was it yesterday? No, the day before yesterday. She messaged me and was like, hey, this link isn't working. So I was like, what? I must have typed it in wrong or something. So I checked it and posted it again, thinking that I just typed it in wrong. And sure enough, it wasn't working. When you clicked on my Bitly link, it had like a 404 error or whatever, like it didn't even connect. So I was like, oh crap. What, like I need to figure out the origin of this issue and fix that. So I thought at first it was a problem with Bitly because like maybe they would only forward the link for like a year, and I'm pretty sure it had been a year at that point, but that wasn't it. The Bitly was still fine. It was still going to the right address. So I go to check my Aweber and I notice that there is a notification that says that my domain is no longer connected to Aweber. And I was like, what? Because it's like the link to my landing page through Aweber is myshop.aweb.whatever to get to the thing. It's like a subdomain. So what happened was when I transferred my domain from Google to Shopify, because I had my domain with Shopify previously, but when I closed my Shopify in 2020, I just sent it back to Google and then I had it redirect that URL to my Etsy shop. So that way if people had my old URL, they would just be forwarded to my Etsy shop and still be able to find me. So I forwarded that to my new Shopify to get people to like go to the landing page and see that my shop is opening and everything. That deleted the, it's called name servers, but it deleted those from Aweber because it was no longer hosted by Google. So it deleted all of the connections I had. And I did not know that. And this was about a week after I transferred the domain. So this link hadn't been working for like a week. Nobody else told me. Nobody said anything. So I was like, oh crap. Like how many people have tried to sign up for my email list and just saw the link wasn't working and left. You know, like some people just won't say anything. Or maybe they'll assume that like the site is down or whatever and then they forget, you know, it's whatever. I don't blame anybody for that. But so then I went to my link tree to see what link was there, if it was the Bitly or the direct link to that landing page or whatever. And I was just going to go ahead and change that to my Shopify address because I have that welcome page that's like password protected, but you can also have your email link there, like a email sign up form there. So I was just going to put it to my shop link anyways because I was wanting to transfer everything to Shopify email anyways because it's easier. And what do you know, I go to check that link and guess which freaking link it is. It's the link to my MailChimp landing page, which I no longer use. So there were like 40 people signed up to my MailChimp that never got any emails from me because I quit using it forever ago. Had no idea that I never updated it. No idea. So at that point I was like, all right, let's just switch everything over to my website, to the Shopify, and just use that email only, because I am tired of like the back and forth. And switching email lists, like services, is not difficult. You can download your list, but you have to keep in mind that you have to change like the sign up page link and everything everywhere that you put it. Like there's so many places that I have posted that bit.ly link, like every single one of my Etsy listings, and my Etsy like announcement, my about section on Etsy, and every Instagram post I've made for the past however long. So yeah, I was not happy about that. And the bullcrap doesn't stop there. So the next thing I had to do was fix my Etsy listings, because they all had the bit.ly link and I needed to change it to my Shopify. And I have a subscription to Vella, which is a software that will let you like bulk update your Etsy listings. You can do this with some things like on Etsy itself. I haven't tried it with descriptions. I think you can like find and replace something in your descriptions, but I'm not 100% sure. I haven't tried it. But since I had Vella, I was like, you know, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it, because you cannot bulk edit photos on Etsy. I know that for sure, so I just kept Vella to do photos if I needed to add or update something. So I went and I selected all my listings and did like find and replace, and just typed in bit.ly and then put in the new URL, and all was fine and dandy until I go over to my Etsy and I realized that somehow when I was doing the updates in Vella, it took 4 or 5 of my expired, sold out listings and reactivated them. Yeah, that's possible. Apparently, I did not know that it was possible, but it happened. So I don't know if I didn't sync it before, or if the last time I had used it, those were still active and it reactivated them, because you can create listings with Vella and it'll post them for you. So that's probably how it did that. Like I didn't even think that they had access to do that, but apparently they do. So that's like however much that was, like $1 or something down the drain, because I couldn't sell those things anymore because they were sold out. I'm glad I noticed it right away though, and I didn't sell them on accident. And the step after that was to go to MailChimp and move those subscribers over to my current list. So I just moved everything from MailChimp and Aweber over to Shopify email. It is a lot more user-friendly, and you get a lot more free email sends than with any other platform. And you can segment your audience for free. I don't think you could do that with MailChimp or Aweber. Like you could separate your audience based on like if you wanted people that were local to market like your local shows to, or you wanted people that were interested in this kind of product but not that kind of product. All that stuff, you could not do that for free with most other platforms. And then when I downloaded the CSV to import my subscribers from MailChimp to Shopify, it didn't do it right, and I don't have Excel on my computer, so I couldn't fix it. So I manually copied and pasted those email addresses, because I needed to send, I had an email like scheduled to send on Monday to announce the shop, and I wanted to kind of like not spring the opening on the subscribers that had been subscribed for like a year and never got any emails, because I've been sending emails like about once or twice a week for a while. So I don't want to just like spring it on these people like, hey, my shop is open now, here's the password and all this stuff. I wanted to like do an introduction like, hey, just so you know, if you forgot who I am, like the, you know, you signed up for my marketing, but if you want to unsubscribe, you can, that's fine. So far, knock on wood, nobody has unsubscribed yet. And my list has doubled since I did that. So overall, I'm not too mad about it. And I had some people that were on my old, like when I had my Shopify before, that were still on there from when they purchased before. So I was able to reconnect with them. I didn't feel like I should have, maybe I should have actually, like taken those people that had bought from my Shopify and like moved their email subscription over to like MailChimp or Aweber or something, but it just kind of felt weird. But you're allowed to, like if they consent to marketing, you can move them around to whatever platform. While I was doing that, I went ahead and moved everyone from Aweber, my current email list, to Shopify. And what do you know, right in the middle of when I was doing that, Aweber went down. Like the server went down just overall, like couldn't log in or anything, so that was great. But my plan going forward with that is, because of Aweber has that integration with Etsy, this might take a little bit of extra work. I found an app that does what I want to do, but backwards. So if I can find one that does it the way I want it to, then I will do the app. But basically, since Aweber has the connection with Etsy, and when somebody makes an order on my Etsy shop, they will get an email asking if they want to subscribe, and if they ignore it, that's fine. They don't get subscribed, but they can click and confirm if they want to, and that's just done automatically. I don't have to do anything. And it's within Etsy's terms of service because the contact is made as a result of a purchase. You can't just like cold message people that have purchased you like a long time ago, you know? Purchased from you, you know what I mean? I'm gonna keep that, and then I get an email when somebody is subscribed to that list. So what I'm going to do, like every time I am going to send an email through Shopify, I'm going to go back and see if I've gotten any new subscribers to Aweber and then just transfer them to Shopify. Because I found an app that will send your Shopify subscribers over to Aweber, but not the other way around. So I'm still working on that. So Shopify is so much easier, and the user interface is a lot easier, I think, more simple than Aweber or MailChimp. And like I said before, you can segment your audience, like you can send only certain people an email. And everything is all integrated too, like with Aweber or MailChimp or any other service. You kind of have to go back and forth between your selling platforms and your mailing list to see like, okay, this person has spent a lot, you know, they're VIP or if they bought before, etc. But with Shopify, everything is there. Like if you click on a person's name or their email, it'll show you like everything they purchased. It shows you what they clicked on in the email and just like basically anything that they do. So it is really helpful like to gain insights. Now all the links should be fixed. I'm going to like make a note to check Aweber and MailChimp every now and then to see if anybody's signed up and get them to the right list. I think I actually unpublished my MailChimp landing page because I didn't want anybody to use it, but just in case. Like right now, it is so close to when I need to launch the Shopify that I am going to prioritize what I'm doing. Like I am not going to be able to get it 100% like perfect the way I want it by Friday. There's no way. Like I'll get it functional for people who have my mailing list link or the people that I send the password to, and then I will work on the rest later. So things like SEO are not super important like right now. They are going to be important later on because on Shopify you can and should do SEO on each photo. That way if somebody like Googles something, then your shop photos could show up and be linked on Google Images. Another thing that the Etsy like listing transfer thing did not do was do my descriptions properly, but I have to rewrite them anyways. So it pasted the descriptions like all as a big wall of text, and which is not like a problem. I could just go back in and put in, you know, spaces, but my Etsy descriptions were formatted for Etsy, so I had things like specific to my shipping process and like links back to my shop. Well, I don't want to link my Etsy shop in my Shopify listings, so I need to like go and redo all that and take stuff out. And I just have a whole notebook page of little things to go back and check and like redo and photos to add and stuff like that. That's just going to take a bit of time. I have been running an experiment for you guys specifically. So I have a time clock app and I am logging the amount of time that I'm spending on just the Shopify. So like I'm not counting this where I'm doing the stuff with the products and the photos and all that, just like what I'm spending on the actual Shopify website itself, like getting everything set up, like doing the theme and customizing everything and writing the descriptions and all that stuff. And as of now, I am at about 20 hours just on the Shopify website itself. And like I could have hired a developer to do it. There's plenty of them out there, people that will do your Shopify, but it's not difficult. You don't need to know about coding or anything like that. It's all like mostly drag and drop and then like changing like setting your colors and your fonts that you want and stuff like that. It's not like super complicated. And there's tutorials for pretty much anything you want to do, but it's just so time consuming. And I still need to go back and add a few listings that are new. So I have been pretty good with Etsy the past few weeks. I have been adding new listings every day, which has, I won't say that it has fixed the summer slump, but it has helped. Like, I noticed a big difference in my views and everything as I've been posting every day. And I'm also going back and editing old listings. Like, I will sort my listings by ones that are about to expire and like trying to update the tags and stuff on those to see if something works better. And a couple times it has worked. It has sold like pretty soon after I updated them. Not like immediately, but within a day or so. It's now the Friday after I launched my shop this previous Saturday. I hyper-focused on getting that done for so long. Once it was done, my brain just like couldn't handle anything else. It was like, if you don't have ADHD or you've never like had an actual hyper-focus before, basically like if it's really intense and for multiple days like it happened for me, it feels like you ran on a treadmill. And you know how when you run on a treadmill and then you get off of it, you kind of like feel like you're still running, you know, like your head, like stuff's kind of going past your head, like you're still in motion, but you're not. That's how it feels, but like 1,000 times more intense, because you're like focus, 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 and then all of a sudden you don't have to focus anymore, and then it's like, oh. So on the Friday prior to the actual launch day, I did a pre-launch, like a soft launch kind of thing for my email subscribers. And what I did was I just sent them an email with the password to get into the site while it was still like password protected. And one person, like it shows you who like how many people clicked on the links or whatever, and one person did. So and they actually messaged me on Instagram and said it looked good. So it was worth it for that one person, I guess. So maybe if you try that for your shop launch or like another thing, it might go better for you, but it was a fun idea, and it kind of got everything ready like a day early, because that, like the actual Saturday, I was just trying to make sure that everything was right and that I updated everything like on my Etsy and my social media and everything to say that it was open now and not opening soon. It's not 100% done. I spent a couple hours yesterday doing my About Us page, which is pretty important because you want to build a connection and like tell the story to people who are buying, because usually like when you shop you want to know like about the brand and stuff. Like that's becoming more popular now. People are trying to be more conscious of who they're buying from. And that's why when I do a shop review for Etsy, I check to make sure that you have the shop story filled out and like have pictures and stuff there, because number one, it counts for your search ranking. So if you don't have all those extra spaces filled out, like your shop story and your announcement, your policies, FAQs, your products are automatically going to rank lower in the search because you don't have your shop like completed. But the shop story and other things are a great way to connect with your customers because of just how Etsy is. There's so many people on there, and people could be looking at hundreds of different shops while they're trying to shop for something like for a gift or whatever. So you want to use that opportunity if they do happen to scroll down and read your shop story to like catch their attention and make them remember you. And people remember stories like this. I was reading stuff, like I was looking it up when I did mine, like how the best way to do it, my About section on Shopify, but it was saying that there was a study done that people remember stories more than they do facts. So for the shop launch, I used a what is that? My brain just blanked. A timesheet app, and it is called Hours Tracker. It's this, you see that? Hello. This little, like it's a little pig with a clock on it, and I have an Android, if you couldn't tell, and the screen protector is busted, but whatever. So I don't know if it's on iPhone or not. But you can add different jobs, so I think I'm going to pick like a week or so and use the time tracker to see like how much time I actually spend doing things every week, because I'm probably going to be surprised, because I really couldn't tell you, like if you asked me how many hours I spent on this, how many hours I spent on that, I don't know. So I have the Shopify set up on here, and I would just start this whenever I was actually on the computer in the Shopify website. So not This does not include like taking product photos or doing research or anything about how to do certain things that like I couldn't figure out how to do. So including what I did yesterday with the About Me section, it has been 32.9 hours, so almost 33 hours solid just on Shopify, like setting up my store. And that would be even longer if I hadn't done some things before, because I had my shop open previously a few years ago and it saved all the settings and everything. My theme was still there, my products that I had were still there, but the products, like I had all of my products on one listing, and then I had each of them as variations, because toward the end there I just had masks, so I had masks all in one variation. I couldn't use any of that, so I had to scrap it all. And then Shopify updated, so it's now like Shopify 2.0, and the theme I had before didn't work with the new, like it would still work, but all the features, the new features of 2.0 weren't possible on the old theme I had, so I had to get a new one, but I picked a free one. You can buy themes, but it wasn't worth it for me at this point. But if you have like zero technical experience with setting up a website or anything, or like designing it or whatever, I would say it's worth it to either buy a paid theme that's already designed for you, or like pay a designer like through Fiverr or something to actually design a custom one for you. Because I have built one website, my old like makeup blog, that's still up, but I haven't looked at it. I don't remember what's on it or what it looks like, but I did design that myself, and that was through WordPress and Elementor, if that means anything to you. I think I'm still paying for Elementor. I should probably look at that because it's not cheap. And I was working on the blog for Type 9 Studio through the same platforms, so I have a bit of experience with it, and I know like increasing conversions and using like HTML, rich text, and all that stuff about how to do it. And I don't know if I know it well enough to explain it, so I'm not really going to try. And I've also visited a lot of Shopify websites because I try to support other small businesses, and I see the mistakes they've made, like that make it more difficult for me as a user, so I try to avoid those mistakes when I'm building my own. I mentioned in the last video that I posted that I'm looking for a way to sync my Shopify and my Etsy as far as inventory count, like some way that would do it automatically, and there are apps that do it that connect to Shopify and then will sync with Etsy, but they are a bit expensive, so I don't think it's worth it at this point in time. But if like my sales go up, or like to return to where they were previously when they were really good, I might look into that. I'm also looking into an app or an add-on for Shopify to import my Etsy reviews and allow people to leave reviews on my Shopify, because that is pretty important to have customer reviews on there. And something else on the to-do list, I need to crop my photos. So on Etsy, it's a problem with Etsy photos. If you have a shop, you know that their cropping is terrible, but if on your shop page in the search, they're all going to be the same size. But on Shopify, I guess depending on your theme, but if you don't have them all cropped the same, they're going to show up different, and then your search pages are going to be all wonky. Like one photo will be horizontal, another one will be square, another one will be vertical if you don't have them all the same. So that's kind of annoying, but it's not like critical for the shop. Just make it look a little bit nicer and cleaner if they were all the same. So when it brought my photos over from Etsy, it obviously took the actual size of them and not the cropped version for the main listing photo. Some of them I was able to crop within Shopify. Like you can go into the listing, click on the photo, and then crop it from there, but just depending on the product, it didn't really work that well. So I'm gonna have to redo some photos for that. Once I get everything figured out and what I'm gonna do as far as like the inventory syncing and the reviews and that kind of stuff, and what apps I'm going to use for those, I might make a video later on like which ones I use, but for now I don't really know, because I might be switching them at some point if I don't think the ones I have now are working. Today is Friday and I have orders to get out before the post office closes, so I'm going to try to do that next. And I only have to make 2 things, so it shouldn't take very long. I try to get to the post office early as I can because traffic here is really, really bad, and there's like, it's just a 2-lane road between here and there, and if there's traffic, it takes forever. And I need to do my social media posts for today and tomorrow. My audience is most active like in the evening, like from 7 to 9 p.m.-ish. That's when I get the most views and likes on my like Instagram reels and stuff, so that's when I try to post. So I'll wait to do that. I think I already have today's content filmed and everything for my posts, so I just have to post them. And the rest of the time is going to be spent doing production. So the next project is going to be getting ready for a few local events, and I have contact with a company or a group that puts on Veg Fest. So if you're new to the channel, my last event that I did with my business was a Veg Fest, and I did very, very well because my products are like in the eco-friendly kind of space, and I advertise as being a vegan company. So Veg Fests are a huge thing for my business, at least moving forward. There's one pretty close by next month, but I just don't think I can swing like getting everything ready because I don't have my setup done. I was borrowing my mom's folding tables, so now I'm don't have any you know, this far away, so I have to buy some tables and get like display things, because I had a grid wall thing to display things on with hooks, and it was just not easy to transport because it didn't fold in half and it wouldn't fit in my car. So I need to figure out a new one, and I have found some that do fold in half, and the one I had got bent in the mail, so I couldn't really use part of it anyways because it was all bent, and it was really, really thick metal, so I couldn't just bend it back myself. But for all of those events, every single one that I've ever done, I am like last minute rushing to get product made, and I don't want to do that again. So I'm trying to fill up my inventory shelves because I have that closet, like it's like a half bedroom, but it's basically a closet that I have some shelves and stuff in. I need to get more shelves as well, but that's kind of low on the priority list. Unless they do get full, then I will look into it. And it's nice to be able to get orders and then just grab the stuff off the shelf instead of having to rush and make it and hope my machine works, you know. As far as the launch goes, I didn't get a bunch of sales, like I didn't sell out or anything. You know, people weren't that excited, didn't have that much going on. I don't have like that big of an audience to like, oh my gosh, like it totally sold out the first day, but it's still like it's done, and I am not super worried about it anymore. I'm not, you know, losing sleep because I can only focus on getting it done. And just a quick update about the consignment shop. So a couple of vlogs ago, I was making a bunch of stuff for this consignment shop that I like shipped all the stuff to, and the first month I, like after the booth fee was made, so it's $125 rent for to have your stuff in the shop, or 35%, whichever is more. So like if you don't sell anything, you pay $125, but if you sell stuff, they will subtract that from $125 until it gets like over that, and then it's 35%. So I made more than the $125 this month, and the 35% kicked in, so I made I think they're paying out like 130 something this month, so they just pay it like at the end of the month, or like when the shop closes at the end of the day, then they'll go in and pay it out, you know. So that is progress. I have at least made back the money that I spent to ship it, because that was not cheap. It was one ginormous box and then one smaller one that cost like 40 or 50 bucks just for shipping. So that's about it for this update. If you have any questions about the Shopify thing or whatever, let me know in the comments. I should be back to like regular educational type videos next week. I have a schedule right now, but I honestly can't remember what's on it at this moment, so I'm not sure what's coming up next. It'll be a surprise for both of us. So best of luck on your shop or whatever you're working on right now. I have quite a few requests to catch up on, so if you've requested a video, it might be coming soon-ish, maybe. The links to my shop reviews and everything else will be in the description box, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.